this will be then, I guess, our official thoughts and moment to talk about LUCA. But as Parabima has requested, I am not allowed to actually say the word LUCA. Let's see how this goes. So here's our little improv review. This film is, you know, the latest of the Pixar films to release. I'm a big fan of Pixar, been watching them since my childhood, and they're probably my favorite animation studio of all time. When they came out with Soul in December, I wasn't as big a fan as most other people. I was a bit of a critic when the trailer first released, and I was a critic afterwards. I had like 90% likes as opposed to 99% likes on YouTube, so you know I screwed up. And this film, I kind of feel the same. This is a good movie. I won't say it's a bad movie. Soul was a good movie too. But this movie isn't a Pixar classic. It's a standard movie, you know? It goes through the motions. It's pretty simple. It doesn't blow my mind, and I guess that's okay. But I'm also disappointed by some of the directions it went with. So the general premise, I'm sure you've all seen this before, but the general premise is two mermaid boys essentially go to a human town that is forbidden. They want to earn a scooter. They want to get a bike. I've forgotten what it's called, but they're after it so that they can escape the world together. All the while, they are mixed in with the humans. They go on to a tournament to try to earn said bike, and then, well, you can probably presume what happens next. They get caught, and hijinks sort of go around from there. It's interesting. It's nice. A lot of people are critical of, like, the any indication of romance between, like, the kids, especially as, like, two boys. I'm not on that bandwagon. I'm not a critic on that element. Like, as someone tweeted as a really good response, like, you know, if you're upset with kids being romantically connected, then you don't like Inside Out with Riley, and you don't like, there are other examples of Pixar movies with kids in, like, any kind of romantic situations. I don't really, whatever. Either way, though, the actual ways this movie goes around its thing isn't as enticing. You know, you've got a generic sort of family that are against, you know, exploring the outside world. The world underwater is kind of interesting, but they don't do much with it. The family are kind of cliched. Even the dad there, the big scary brutey dad with no eyes and eyebrows, kind of cliche, but I really liked his character. He was really fun to play with. You know, he was really a big softie in the end. I really liked him. But at the same time as well, while there are a lot of cliches, there's also, like, a lot of potential they could have done that they didn't. Like, there are dream sequences with the kid there, whose name I'm not allowed to mention, which are really interesting. They really threw me off when I was watching it on the trailer. I liked those little moments. Everything else is very much like a small-scale story. They go on their tournament, and, you know, they get revealed. Excuse me, spoilers. Add this now. Well, not now, editor, because there's the spoilers right there. Well, not much is happening. Oh my god, is this all spoiler territory? There's spoilers for this movie. Be aware. Okay, cool. Chuck that in at the beginning, editor. Thanks. At the end of the movie, it's revealed by Rain that they are in fact mermen, and there's a little element of other villagers were also fish. They were also mermen. That was cool. There was 3 others, I think, in one group. I would have liked it if there were more of these mermen interspiced in the entire human world. Make it a bit more than just one-off reveal. You know, that very boring, especially because there's a grandma character of the main protagonist who is very much like supportive of going to the human world. Why wasn't she there? Why wasn't she in human disguise? I would have wanted her to be like the final reveal. That would have been really, really fun, but it wasn't in the end. The villain of this story as well is just like some kid with a bike who's a bit pompous and, you know, very, very simple, just bad for being bad, not a deep character, and that's fine, but because of that, this is not ever going to be a Pixar classic. It's a standard movie. I would show my own child once or twice. If they wanted to watch it more, they could, but I'd much rather show them Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story and The Incredibles and Coco. This is a not inventive, but like impacting movie. It's just a standard movie. Enjoyable. I like the smear frames of that one Italian guy that we found from the last time we looked at the trailers. I like the connection between these three, although it, you know, kind of it's kind of standard, you know. Main guy and the girl get a little close. Second guy gets a little jealous. I felt the emotional beats when the boys break up. I like this, the animation and the technique to like transport them over. Really, really good. I like that. The parents had their own mini arc of trying to find the kid, and they just keep beating up kids to do so. That was alright. Wasn't that attached. And then in the, you know, I really like the relationship between Alberto, which is the second kid, and this dad. I really enjoyed. That was like, oh, wholesome. I want their own little moment, but there was only a small thing on the side. This is just where I got all these collections of trailers and footage together. So that means nothing. Yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts, I think. I'm trying to see from the other footage what else shows up. Merman's interested in human world. That's pretty standard. Mermen in the human world doing things, fairly standard. You know, it's fine, enjoyable, but just standard. Hello, Epic Tiger HD, how you doing? They fight, they argue. I wouldn't be surprised if my synopsis of this movie I told, like in one of the last trailers, was at all accurate. But otherwise, it was a nice hour and a half to spend. Typical, the entire village immediately is like, oh yeah, we like mermen now. Like, there was one guy that didn't. Oh, actually, I guess they kind of spiked up. Okay, so the dad's the one that actually told them, no, we like them, because he got a connection with Alberto. But that's it. You know? Oh, well, at least I got the smear frame out of it. The rest of it, yeah, I almost don't have thoughts for it. That's the end of my thoughts. Yeah. Alberto is a double villain in that he wants to win the tournament as a human, and he wants to kill the monsters as a human, but monster villain. That's it. That's it. Does fun things, cute world, not interested in the rest. And it all ended up on Disney Plus. That's a thing I'm bothered about. The final thing I'll say, the fact that this is free bothers me. I don't like paying for movies when I've already got a subscription, but I'd much rather pay for this and Soul over Mulan and Cruella being paid for. Pixar is being so underhanded right now and underrated and just, you know, I can't believe these Disney live actions rank better than Pixar. But there you go. There's my thoughts. Pixar, fun, standard kind of movie. Ah well, enjoyable for some. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. Maybe that's a good score. To me, that's an okay score. Not a bad film. It is what it is. So there you are. That was... Is his name not Alberto? Someone else Alberto? I could have sworn. Calais. Really? Who's that? Have I been reading it wrong? I don't think I watched it with subtitles, so maybe I don't know. Maybe. Editor. Crush that up to be a little bit more succinct and polished, but otherwise, I think that was pretty formulated nicely. Like, the music even ended. It is Alberto. Yeah. Alberto, is that his full name, maybe? I don't remember. We never find out an answer on what happened to his dad. Oh, well. Now, beyond watching LUCA, I can now say that word. We've finished with that thing. Alberto Scorfano. Ah, okay. Ercole was the bully. Ah, okay, there you go. That's why. Cool. Barely remembered their names, but oh well, it is whatever. Wolfcrafter requests a sound effect, and then we'll get to the next section. Lovely, a random zombie sound. The cat had an awesome moustache. Yeah, the cat was enjoyable. Now, I was only planning to watch LUCA this last week. Had other things planned. But I decided, actually, I didn't decide anything. I went to go and have a lovely little evening with Kerry the other day. And she was like, hey, we want to eat. Let's eat cinema hot dogs and cinema cheesy nachos. Because only in the certain cinema we go to can we get cheese that's actually like liquid and gets dipped into nachos. And because it's so much cheese, it makes the nachos nice and soft so I don't destroy my teeth. I've got a massive moth in my room. Lovely. I've already cut up the front of my gums with little pizza pieces. So it'd be nice to just go and eat some cinema food. But But if we're going to the cinema to get cinema food, we should probably watch a movie from the cinema. So, because of that, we watched another movie by the name of editor cut to later. Wolfcrafter. That was the sound effect was from one of your top 10 games. Fair enough. It made your day. Very lucky. Nice one. Cool. I'm glad to have made your day with such a simple sound effect. Anyway, that movie was this one. This is Ryan Reynolds Does Ryan Reynolds Things. This is Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. We watched the trailer for it. I really wasn't that into it because it just looked like Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds things. And it was. But we ended up watching it anyway. It's on Netflix? No. Okay, that was a slice of life comedy anime. Okay, cool. Had me worried there that I just wasted £40. Oh man, we have a couple stories around this movie actually. When we went to go to get the train to this movie, we had like a cancelled and a delayed one, so we showed up. We got the train 5 minutes after the movie had started to get to the cinema. But there was the trailers go on for like half an hour these days, so I was able to just sit in and get in time. Only missed 5 minutes of the actual movie. But this movie, let me tell you about it, because I thought this would be Ryan Reynolds Does Ryan Reynolds Things. It was. It also wasn't really the perfect movie. It wasn't all that funny in the end. Let me bring up the sound. It was fine. It had your standard jokes. If this was like executive produced by Ryan Reynolds, this is certainly not one of his best things. It's certainly a more mature story. As much as Deadpool's pretty mature, this goes pretty ham in some of its mature themes. You know, it's a lot of crude sort of sex jokes and yeah. Okay, no, I guess not. I could have sworn my camera, like, moved, like it got turned by something. That really threw me off. Oh, well. Either way, some of these jokes were really simple. This joke here, which we probably won't even get to see. Nope, we won't get to see. Was good, where it's like, a guy shoots a person and it splatters on his face. But a lot of jokes as well just sort of fell flat, or they were really simple. It's to the point I don't actually remember them anymore. The one thing I do remember about this movie, though, this is, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. So it's just like some sort of comedy action film title thing going on. It's just a sort of nice, fun action story. The thing that stood out the most, though, is how many celebrities are in it. You know, obviously you got Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds up front and center. You've got, like, excuse the spoilers, by the way. You've also got, like, Morgan Freeman shows up, and Antonio Banderas is the main villain. It would be the point that you'd be, like, constantly seeing these new people. Big Arm Guy from Umbrella Academy and Percival from Merlin. That's the same person, that same actor. He's also a villain in this. Like, there's so much of a celeb cast. I just enjoyed that element. I felt like such a boomer, just being like, "Oh, I know that. Oh, that's a face I recognize." But it was also, yeah, it was very kind of standard Ryan Reynolds Does Ryan Reynolds Things. But 1 in 3 jokes didn't land, you know? And, like, you know, the characters are, like, the main girl there, she's all about trying to save her husband, and she wants to have a kid, and it's very sexual sometimes, and I'm like, alright, great. There are good jokes, though, like, there's a scene of those two being tortured at the same time that she's being, like, wooed about how tortured this guy's life must have been, even though he had a life of privilege. It's like, oh, you must have been in so much pain. I can't imagine. And then it cuts to them literally being tased into the gut for a while and all the rest of it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I won't watch it again, though, you know? As much as the footage keeps corrupting anyway, I liked seeing it once. It was enjoyable. Not the worst thing to eat some cheesy nachos with. I do have a slight final gripe, because I don't even remember the rest of this movie. They spoil the final shot. Ugh, I remember that one. They spoil the final shot in this trailer somewhere, where they're like, they both Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson stand up and say, "What the," you know, the swear word. Sorry, I don't swear, so I'm not the perfect fit for this movie, as you can see. But that's actually the final shot in the movie for a reveal that I saw coming. A lot of the jokes, maybe it's because I'm getting into comedy too much, but like a lot of the jokes I could predict. My girlfriend had the same thing. We would be like, this is gonna happen. And we were like, yep. And then later on it did. So there you are. Ryan Reynolds does Ryan Reynolds things. It's not his best. It's no Deadpool 3, and hopefully it's not as good as Free Guy. I have high hopes for that. But until then, the movie just does its own thing. And that's okay. There you are. The corruption of Clifford the Big Red Dog's CGI is still leaking into the stream. Absolutely. Wow, I had so much. Oh, I had a little bit of extra footage for this review, but there just ain't much else to say. You've seen it here. You've seen how it goes. So there you are. Now, with those out of the way, surprisingly, that's all the main recent trending, I guess, movie content there is. We've gone through Shang-Chi, Sing 2, Clifford the Big Red Dog, can't forget that wonderful masterpiece, LUCA, and Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Maybe I would have seen Wish Dragon. I probably won't review it now because I've already missed the mark on that. There's Black Widow coming next week and something else coming soon. I'll see you in a bit.